Howdy do everybody. Welcome to Variety Conversation. I am Lady Walker. Okie doke. Here's a story that has been percolating in the atmosphere for a week or two. This is happening so often that I urge the peeps not to forsake standing up for justice, even though justice seems faint as a sound in the distant yonder, and this travesty is happening more often than not. Let us keep seeking justice for the innocent who just may be made to look guilty in order to free the race soldiers who are guilty in rendering fatal blows when it isn't warranted. In spite of the protesting against police brutality and systematic racism, race soldiers continue their modern-day lynching of innocent black lives. Some people breathe hate, they taste hate, they live hate 24/7 towards their black counterparts. As long as this earth remains, I don't think it will ever depart, because when the old people die out, the young people take up the torch and continue to perpetuate the saga of hate. Many can say that it's not hate. Many can say that it's not police brutality, and many can say it's not systematic racism, but that doesn't change the fact that it is all of that and more. When you are not affected by racism and all of its tentacles, it's easy to think it doesn't exist because your life isn't affected by it one way or another. But that doesn't change the fact that it does exist, and that it exists in real time and in real life 24/7 by many black Americans. At the time I am writing this, 31-year-old Jonathan Price, a black man of Wolfe City, Texas, has been buried. The cause of his death was at the hand of a 22-year-old white supremacist rookie cop, Shaun Lucas, who killed him in cold blood. On October the 3rd, Jonathan was at a convenience store and saw a man assaulting a woman, and he tried to break up the fight. By the way, it was a white man assaulting a white woman. I was told they were a couple. Anyway, the race of the people fighting is vital to inquiring minds. The police was called, and race soldier Officer Shaun Lucas was the responding officer on the scene. It was said that the situation was calm when the officer arrived on the scene, and that Price raised his hands and tried to explain what was happening, and yet Lucas tried to detain Price, who resisted in a non-threatening posture and began walking away. And that is when Lucas fired a taser at Price, who fell, his body convulsing, and the race soldier Lucas perceived the body convulsion as a threat and shot him how many times? 4. Price was rushed to a local hospital where he later died. Lucas' attorney comprised a law and stated that Mr. Price resisted the effects of the taser and attempted to take it away from Officer Lucas. Officer Lucas only discharged his weapon in accordance with Texas law when he was confronted with an aggressive assailant who was attempting to take his taser. That's right, clean it up for the race soldier. Okay, clean it up. According to Texas Rangers, Lucas' actions did not seem objectively reasonable. Lucas was arrested and held on a $1 million bond. Conflicting reports are saying he is bonded out, and I believe it's possible that he is out on bond. Lucas is or was one of the 3 police officers working for the Wolfe City Police Department. The other 2 officers are the city's police chief, Matthew Martin, and Sergeant Jared Hayes. Unfortunately, blacks are seen as the target instead of seen as humans. And for those in blue, just know that being black is not a crime, although some in blue will make it out to be. According to some of the black citizens of the small northern town of Texas, about 1,400 people in population, Lucas has been overly aggressive with his traffic enforcement and berated longtime black locals. According to one of the black locals, he is the worst cop that Wolfe City has ever had. He stopped everything that moved at night. These are the type of cops no city, town, or state needs, because guess what? They are going to cause so much chaos to that town, city, or state. Price was considered a pillar of the community of Wolfe City. In a June Facebook post, Price wrote a post expressing his support for the police, saying, "While some consider local cops to be racist, I have never gotten that kind of energy from the popo." Well, he finally got that kind of energy from a local rookie cop that had no regards for his life because he took Price's life at the blink of an eye. Price was one who would not acknowledge the very hate that motivated this killer cop. He was being a good Samaritan trying to break up a fight between a man and a woman. I can't say it enough. These kinds of raised soldiers are flocking by the droves to become cops so they can kill blacks legally. Also, the question was raised, why were there only white cops investigating the scene? I know what you mean. That's interesting because they are going to clean it up for the cop killer. And just like Derek Chauvin and many other race soldier cops, he will be set free to live the rest of his life the way he chooses and supported by none other than white supremacy. That's my perspective on it. Anywho, feel free to express your perspective on this situation. And in the meantime, beloveds, y'all come back to visit me when you can. Okie doke. Ta-ta.